YouTube? How you doing? Alright, so today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing two things. So I'm going to put two in one. It's going to be awesome. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about October favorites, because I can't even believe that it's already been a month since I've done the last one, and I feel like I've just been totally not with the program, and I have not been keeping my commitment, if you would say. I haven't been keeping up with what I've been wanting to do with YouTube, and I've been wanting to put out videos and stuff, but it's just been getting so crazy. So I feel like I've been really just dropping the ball on that, so I do want to apologize. But anyway, so we're going to get started. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to talk about October favorites. So I'm going to go, I have a lot of things that I want to talk about. Some stuff that's like makeup, and some other stuff is like candles and lotion and necklaces and clothes and everything. It's going to be great. And then the second part of the video is going to be all about brushes. So I'm going to go through and explain which brush I use for what and how I use it, what products I use it with, and so on. So it's going to be amazing. So first I'm going to get started with some foundation that I have been loving. It's brand new. It's been out I think for a little while, but it is called Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation. So I'm going to give a pretty in-depth explanation of how I feel about this foundation, because it has such a hype right now, and so many people are like, oh my god, Makeup Forever foundation is amazing. And it is amazing. It really is. I have to be honest. So this is just my personal opinion. I use it. I love it. I think it works really well. I have it in 3 shades because I haven't found one that's like my exact shade. Sometimes I'm too tan, sometimes I'm too white, and it just like doesn't work out. So I have it in 3 different shades. I have it in shade 115. I have it in shade 115, and then Y425, which is this dark one right here. And then I also have it in Y415, which is also 128, which looks like this. So I have them kind of like light, dark, and kind of in between. So these are the ones that I have right now. So I have been, lately what I've been doing is I take my MAC foundation, which is NC30, I believe, and I mix it with the 115, because the NC30 is way too tan for me, and then this one is obviously like way too white. No, I'm not this white. But when I do use them by themselves, I find that they are they're beautiful on the skin. And I don't know what it is about this foundation, but it's very buildable. You can, like I said, you can combine the colors to kind of make your own. I apply it with this brush that I'll talk about in a little bit. This is the Morphe M439 brush. And it's a perfect foundation brush, really fluffy. This is what I use to apply it. I'll put no more than 2 pumps of this stuff on the back of my hand. I'll kind of mix it with the brush, and then I just kind of dab it. I dab it like all in the lower part of my my face, and then I'll take the remainder of it, and I'll put it like up on my forehead, on my nose, and kind of under here. The one thing that I would recommend is I don't use this right directly under my eyes, because I use that's obviously the area for concealer, and some people don't know. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned this to you guys before, but it's a really good thing not to put the concealer over the foundation. So if you're putting like the foundation on first, which is usually what people do, you don't want to put it all over your face. So you're going to kind of want to put it all over, except for like right under here where your concealer is going to go, because your concealer, the main purpose of that is to either brighten or cover your under eye. If you want to do both, it's going to work a lot better for you if you don't already have that foundation that you're putting underneath the concealer. So you're just going to want to leave that space blank for the concealer only. But as far as this Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation goes, it's a must-have. They sell it at Sephora for $43, and I mean, I don't even know how many shades they have now, but they have a lot. So I definitely would recommend this product. It's, like I said, very buildable. It does not get oily on my skin, but it's also very hydrating at the same time. And now that the air is getting colder too, my skin is feeling a lot more dry, and it's feeling a lot more tight, because it needs just more hydration. So this gives me a perfect amount of hydration. It's not too oily, but it's also not leaving my skin too dry. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the NYC Smooth Skin Loose Face Powder. This is what it looks like right here. This is available at Target. I believe it's honestly $3. I have never really used a loose face powder before. I do use the Stay Matte from Rimmel London, and it is in the shade Transparent. I think I talked about this in my last video. If not, it was like a couple ones before. And I really do like that setting powder. And so I bought this to kind of test out using a loose face powder rather than just kind of like a setting powder, because I wanted it to be a little bit more powdery. That's what it looks like right here. It's just like a lot of powder that can go everywhere, so be very careful. I watched, God, it's now all over me. So I watched one video, it was of Jack on the Hill, I believe, duh. So I watched one of Jack on the Hill's last videos, and she was explaining how when you put on your foundation and you go right into contouring, if you're doing a liquid foundation and then you're going in with a powder contour rather than like a cream contour, it's really not very blendable. So it doesn't blend out very well compared to using like a foundation and a cream, which would be a little bit more blendable. When you're using a powder right over the foundation without setting it, it's going to get really blotchy. It's not going to be very pretty. It's just not going to look all that great. So I decided to get that Smooth Skin loose face powder just to kind of use that to set my stuff. So I set it after I put on my foundation, and then I go right in with my powder contour, and I use the Shade Plus Light palette from Kat Von D. And so I have been experiencing like it stays on better, and that powder actually is for as cheap as it is, it actually does work very well. I am one of those people who like, I'm always like leaning on my arms, like on my hands, and putting my hand on my face and stuff all throughout the day. When I'm in school, I'm just like, oh, get me out of here. And I'm always, you know, kind of like touching my face right here. So especially right here in this area, I try to put a little bit extra so that my foundation isn't wearing off as easily throughout the day. So if you haven't had any experience with a loose face powder, I would definitely recommend this product right here. And again, this is NYC. It's called Smooth Skin Loose Face Powder. Next up, I'm going to talk about some eyeliners. I am a big fan of eyeliner. I don't always wear it all the time because I usually put quite a bit, or I'll experiment with colors of my, I'll experiment with my eyeshadow colors, in which sometimes makes me feel like I don't really want to put on eyeliner because I already have like a kind of a lot going on there, and I don't really want to like make it more dramatic if I'm just hanging out. But the ones I do use when I am doing an eyeliner, I have two that I really like. Actually, I have three, but I'm just going to talk about two today because I'm still kind of experimenting with a different one. I'm not really sure if I like it yet. So this one is called Master Precise by Eye Studio, and this is by Maybelline, New York. That's what it looks like right here. And this one is a liquid liner. So this is what the top of it looks like. It's just very pointy, and it actually works very well. I actually used this today. And this is kind of, if you can see, let me zoom. Hang on one second. Can't see it. Oh, I just put that down. Okay. So this is kind of what I got from it today. And you have to keep a really steady hand because it does get all kinds of crazy if you don't. So, but yeah, it's really good. It really does stay on all day. If I'm taking it off at night, I have to use like Vaseline or some type of eye makeup remover to get it off because it does stay all day. This is not waterproof actually, but I don't know why it's not, because it should be, because it actually stays on all day long, so yeah. And then the other one that I like to use is an eyeliner, a liquid liner again from NYC. That's what it looks like right here. And this one is kind of the same thing, but it's a little bit more fat at the top. It performs the same exact function. It is a liquid liner, and this is what I really use to kind of get like the very tippy top of my liner if I want it to be like, you know, all fierce and whatnot. This is kind of what I will use, because the top of the other one, I kind of feel that sometimes it doesn't always give me that like precise little like wing that I want. So I'll use that one to kind of do like the, you know, the base of it and like kind of get the wing started, and then I'll go in with this one and kind of just like top it off. And this one, I don't know, but it's NYC, so it can't be more than like $3 or $4 at Target. This one also works very well. So these are the two that I have been using lately for my eyeliner. Maybelline New York Master Precise by Eye Studio, and NYC, oh, I didn't tell you what it was called, NYC Hot Definition. So these are the two, everybody, that I've been loving. I'm going to drop it. Oh, God. So I feel like I always get a lot of questions about how I do my eyebrows. Today, for example, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and I'm using the shade Chocolate. So I'm using this little thing right here. Looks like this in the middle. It is the color Chocolate. And how I put this on, I use a Sephora brush, and this is the Pro Angled Liner. It is brush number 22. This is what it looks like, and this is the top of it, just very teeny. So all I'll do is I'll kind of like dip this in the pomade, and then I'll take the lid. The lid is very key when you're doing eyebrows. I'll take the lid and I kind of just like dump some of the product off back onto the lid. So I'm not taking that and using it like paint and just doing like whoosh, whoosh. So what I do is I'll put the product on the tip of the brush right here. I'll kind of brush it off a little bit, and then I start going right under here. I'll make the line and kind of outline it, and then I'll do the same for the top. I start about right here, and I'll outline it right there, and I fill it in, and then I keep kind of filling it in up here. And when I get to this point right here, I'm kind of more brushing it up and kind of buffing it into my hair that's kind of there. So like if you can see, like this part on this side, that's not hair. So I kind of like mix it in and blend it, but I'm also making sure that it's kind of like a little bit lighter, so it has kind of like that little effect that usually everybody's going for. So, and then I'll take the excess product and I kind of just buff it all in here. And then when I get to the the edges of the eyebrows, I start taking it up here, and I don't usually will not dip it back in the pomade because it is such a thick and blendable product. So I kind of just take what I have already on there and just work with it. And it does take a little bit of time, so you kind of have to be patient if you want your eyebrows to come out looking sleek. But so what I'll do is I'll just kind of brush it up there, and then to fill in this part right here, I just take the remaining product on the brush, and I'll put it up here. And then I almost just kind of like, it's kind of hard to see, but I'll take it and I kind of just like go up and down with it until this little section right here is all blended out. And then I even will position the brush like this to where the corner is aligned like with this corner. See how it's like lining up right there? And I'll kind of just like pull it back this way a little bit. And I'm just really buffing it all into my skin. Ooh, that's zoomed. Until I'm kind of getting the exact look that I want. So if you guys want to see a tutorial of how I do my eyebrows, you can let me know in the comments below. It does take a little bit of time, and it's really not hard to learn. You just have to kind of practice it with it. It's taken me forever. Fun fact, I used to have unibrow. Yeah, look at me now. Next up, I'm going to talk about a pigment. I want to call it eyeshadow, but it's pigment. And this is by Makeup Geek. I think I've talked about a Makeup Geek shadow. I think I talked about it in the last one, actually, the one that was kind of connected to the Stardust palette. That was Makeup Geek one as well, and RIP to that one because it's broken. But that's fine. It's okay. So this one is from Makeup Geek, and this is called Insomnia. And it looks like this. Oh, wait. It looks like this. And this is Insomnia. I'm going to show you what this product looks like because it's so pretty. I posted a picture of this on my Instagram, and I'm sure some of you saw it. I'm just going to be very careful with this. Oh, okay. Bye, Felicia. So I used this on my first day at Sephora. So if you guys go back to my Instagram and like you pull up that picture, this is the pigment that I was using on my lids that day. And I have to make sure it closes because it's going to go everywhere because it's a pigment and it gets all kinds of crazy. So this is the pigment that I'm using. When you put it on your hand, it looks like this, which isn't like all that pretty. But wait. This is what that pigment looks like. And it's super pretty. There you go. It's like metallic-y and like mermaid-y. And I don't even know. But this product is like fire. It's fire, you guys. So this is, again, it's called Insomnia from Makeup Geek. I did buy this product when it was on sale. I think it's originally like $10, I want to say. And I think when I got it for like $6.99 or $4.99. I don't remember, but it was on sale. So you should probably go and check out Makeup Geek. And it might still be on sale, to be honest with you, because they do have some stuff that's in their sale. Their like little item list that, you know, they have stuff on sale on their website, and they do have some of those. So this is, I mean, the product and the result of it is so pretty. Let me pull up the picture so you guys can see it. So this is the picture, and I use this same pigment right here that I was talking about, this Makeup Geek pigment, and that's what's on the very top of my lids. And I use also the Morphe palette, and it was I think it was the 35K palette, which we're going to talk about next. So this is the Morphe palette, and this is the 35K. Oh my gosh, this palette is a mess. So this is my Morphe palette, my 35K. It's so pretty, isn't it? Oh, it's like Christmas in a palette. Or coffee in a palette, because that's what it's called. So this is the 35K palette from Morphe Brushes. It is so amazing. In that last picture I showed you, you kind of saw that I had like browns on the top. I want to say it was this one right here. It was this color right here at the very top that I used to blend it with the Insomnia from Makeup Geek, and it just works perfectly. That palette has so many perfect, pretty colors for fall, so many browns. It even has like some like blues in it down here. All these shades right here like blues, and you kind of get into like a deeper gray, and then there's a black right here, and they have a lot that are matte, and then they have a lot that are like a shimmer. So I know I've kind of been experimenting with a little bit more like a matte color than using shimmer and glitter and all that kind of crazy stuff, because I feel like this style kind of right now is really getting into more of a matte rather than like a glam shimmer. That palette's gonna have everything you're looking for fall colors, and if you want to add a little pop of something, that's perfect to use, because it's very natural colored palette. So if you want to add like some green or some purple or some blue or some Insomnia from Makeup Geek, like it just looks so pretty because the colors just go so well. It's like they wanted you to add a pop of color. So next one I'm going to talk about is a lip color, and it's an ultra matte lip from ColourPop, and it's the one that I'm wearing right now. This is called LAX. I'm not quite sure if you pronounce it LAX or LAX, but we're gonna go with LAX because the other one sounds weird. So this is ColourPop. This is from ColourPop, and this is an ultra matte lip. Looks like this. It's a really pretty deep burgundy. It kind of almost looks a little bit brown when you're looking at it just like this, but it comes out like a reddish. Do love this, but the only thing I will tell you is because it is an ultra matte lip, it's super hard to get off. Super hard. So you can have lunch, you can have breakfast or dinner or whatever, you can eat and you can lick your lips, because I always feel like tend to do that. I like my lips throughout the day, like I don't know why. It really doesn't come off, but I have noticed that if I kind of like rub it a little bit too hard, or like, you know how sometimes you like are talking and you get like a hair on your lip and you just kind of like pull it back, like if you accidentally like kind of nick your lip, you're gonna take the color off. So I believe these are $6. So if you're looking to experiment with a color that is a matte lip, I would definitely recommend getting ColourPop because it's a great starter. I'm not a huge fan of like matte lips. I hardly wear any color as it is. I'm more of like a neutral pink, like tan kind of lip gloss color type of chick. So using color, I'm kind of like still experimenting with it a little bit. But this is a really pretty color, and it's perfect for fall. If you you know, want to kind of add some more like sultry reddish brownish tones into your you know, makeup style, then this is the one for you. And next one I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about some candles. Oh my gosh, the lid is on. I can still smell how amazing it smells. Oh my god. Okay, so this is from Bath and Body Works, and this is a scented candle called Leaves. So I'm sure all of you know they have like 80,000 candles during the fall and winter times. Oh my god, it smells so good. Available for purchase, and I think I got this like the week they all came out. I have one, what's it called? Oh, it's called Autumn. I have Autumn right now that I burn in my room, and then this is the one that I haven't, it's brand new. I haven't burned it yet, and this is called Leaves, but it is, oh my god, guys, it smells so good. If you haven't been to Bath and Body Works in the past like month and a half, you should definitely go. And I want to say that they even have their Christmas stuff out right now, because I think last time I asked, she said that they were going to start putting all their Christmas stuff up like at the beginning of November, and it's the beginning of November, so definitely go and check that out. And then I have two more things I'm going to talk about for my favorites video before we get into brushes. This is called Aromatherapy Sleep from Bath and Body Works, and it is a body lotion, and it is a lavender chamomile lotion. So this really is supposed to help when you go to sleep, because studies show that if you use some type of lavender, whether it's an oil that you put on your pillows, or it's a lotion, or it's a candle, it's really supposed to help you sleep better. And I feel like I really have slept a little better. I don't know if that's just my mind thinking it, or it's actually the lotion, but it smells super duper good, and it says sleep well, lavender and chamomile essential oils soothe and calm to enhance sleep. So it's just like some aromatherapy that's like supposed to help you smell pretty things before you have a pretty sleep. If you're looking for like a lavendery kind of smell and you're kind of having trouble sleeping at night, I got it for $6, I think. Look at me, bargain queen. And the last things that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the necklace that I have on right now. If I can lower this, I don't think I can, but I'll kind of like... So this necklace right here, super cute, isn't it? Like 2 little triangles, and oh, it's so cute. And then even the shirt that I have on right now, I'm loving it. And I actually bought these. I got them. They were a gift. They were from Tilly's. So Tilly's has, I mean, they have lots of cute stuff. If y'all have never been to Tilly's, y'all should step foot in Tilly's because I like it. I like it a lot. And they have really cute stuff. And they have really, like, it's not that expensive, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to find a store that has, like, really good stuff that's also, like, not going to break the bank. Okay, now for the fun part. So now I'm going to get into the part of the video where I talk about brushes. So I'm going to go in each one and I'm going to tell you guys what I use them for. So for my foundation, we're just going to start off with the big ones and move to the small ones. So my foundation brush that I use is a Morphe M439 brush. Looks just like this. Comparing it to my hand, it's about that big. It's about the size of my hand. And it's really fluffy and really pretty. I use this for liquid foundation. So when I'm taking my Makeup Forever foundation, I'm putting two little squirts of it on my hand, kind of dab it like this, and I'm gonna just buff it all up in my skin like this, and down here I'm gonna blend it in my neck because nobody likes those lines, and then I'm gonna take it up here and do this kind of thing. It's gonna be great. So this is the one that I use. It's very fluffy. I think I said fluffy right, but it is really fluffy. And it's like, it's almost like an airbrush effect when you like really learn, like when you really kind of buff it into your skin, you're just kind of like, you gotta go like this a lot and you gotta make sure like it's all in there. But this one it's great. So again, this is the Morphe M439 brush, and this is what I use for liquid foundation. And I think this brush it's between $13 and $15 on morphebrushes.com. Another one that I like to use for my foundation, and I don't really find myself using a whole lot anymore just because I have been using the Morphe one for whatever reason. But this one is another one that I use, and I like to use this. I think this is the one I use like when I'm putting on just my MAC foundation. For some reason, I feel like it just looks really pretty when I do that. I've always gotten a lot of compliments. People are like, "Oh my gosh, is your makeup airbrush?" And I'm like, "No, I don't even know how to do that." But so this is another one that obviously has an airbrush effect. This is the Sigma Flat Kabuki, and it's the F80 brush. So this is what this looks like right here. I'll put the two next to each other so you can kind of get an idea of what they look like. This other one is a little bit taller, and this one is more of like a flat top. That's what it's called. But yeah, this one is really pretty, and this, like I said, really kind of gives you that airbrush effect. And I use it the same exact way. So I'll put like a couple squirts of my foundation on the back of my hand, and then I'll kind of just buff it in there so I get all the product on my brush, and I'll do the same thing. I kind of just buff it into my skin that way. And it works really well. This one I think is a little bit more expensive compared to the Morphe one, but it is on sigmabeauty.com, and I think it's between $20 and $24, but it's really good. And then for setting my concealer, I will use, I have one and I don't know where it's at, to be honest. I was trying to find it today and I couldn't find it. I don't know. You can really use any type of little brush to set your concealer. This one will work right here. Just something kind of like small. That's just going to kind of just go right underneath, or I'm sorry, right over where you put the concealer. This is the Morphe M501 brush. This is also the brush that I use to do my highlight. So when I'm taking my highlighter and I'm putting it right here on my skin, and I can just buff this out because it's already on my skin, it doesn't really matter. This is what I use for that. So your blush and contour is usually going to go right here, and then your highlight just goes right above it on top of your cheekbones right here. And this is the brush that I use for that. I feel like it's the perfect size. It's super duper fluffy, and it's really soft too. And the only bad thing about it that I've noticed is it does shed a little bit. So when I'm like putting on my highlighter or whatever, and I find like all these little black hairs, I'm like, this is not what I want. But it is a really good brush nonetheless. For my blush, I'll talk about my contour and blush. You can honestly use these if you wanted to switch them from where I use them, the way I use them. You can totally do that. I've seen this brush used for blush a lot, but I use this brush for my contour. This is the Morphe E4 brush. This is what it looks like right here. Get me out of the picture. There you go. This is the Morphe E4 brush. It looks just like this. It is a really fluffy brush. This is like, I compare it to the Morphe M439. It's like the same exact, my thing is falling. Okay. It's like the same exact like make. The brush line is, I believe, the same. And this is just a little bit more like compact and dense than this one. And this one is, I feel like that one if it was like fluffed out. So it has the same exact feeling. It's like super duper pretty and just super fluffy. So usually when I'm using this brush, I'm using a powder contour rather than a cream contour. So I'll take it and I'll put it on my brush and I just kind of focus it right here. I can either go this way or I'll flip it this way. So I kind of will start buffing it out like this, and then I'll kind of take it down a little bit. But I'm mainly focusing on pushing it up into my hairline, and I usually won't go past the edge of my eye right here. So I'm just going to kind of take it out to right here, and I'm going to take this and kind of just buff it out, and then I use it to buff up all into my hairline up here, and then I'll take it down and I'll do the same thing on the other side, and so I buff it this way. Again, this is the Morphe E4 brush. For my blush, I use the Morphe M105, so I talked about the 501, now this is the 105. This is a Morphe M105 brush, and this is the blush brush, just like the other one. That's the Morphe now I'm getting confused. This is Morphe M501, this is Morphe M105. So these two brushes are really good. This one is the one I use for the blush that I was just talking about. The thing with this brush is this is the one Morphe brush that I've owned that has shed the absolute most. It's a really nice brush, don't get me wrong. It is really fluffy and perfect and it does the job, which is good, but it does shed a lot. So like when I'm washing it, when I'm cleaning it, I find that when I'm like drying it, all the little things are coming out and I'm just like waiting for it to go bald. So now for my eye brushes, my two favorite eye brushes are from Sigma and from Morphe. Again, I do not have any brushes. I mean, I don't really use any brushes anymore that are not either Sigma or Morphe. So this is my absolute favorite one. This is the Sigma Tapered Blending E40 brush. This is what it looks like. I believe I've talked about this. I talked about this on my last one. I know I did. And this is kind of what it looks like. It's just like really teeny and fluffy, and I use this to start the base of my eyeshadows. When I'm doing like a light brown and I'm kind of layering it and layering it and layering it, I'll use this one just kind of buff everything out because it has that consistency. It has that, the make of the brush and the bristles are just like really, really soft and really easy to blend out the colors. This one is the Morphe M412 brush. This is what this looks like, and it's kind of like the other one, it's just a little bit more compact, a little bit smaller. It is really fluffy still, but it's a little bit more dense and a little bit more compact and put together. And this one I will use to kind of get that darker shade on the outer corner of my eye and kind of like buff it inside. If I'm doing like a smoky eye and I'm using it like on bridal parties and on my bride, this is the one that I use because I feel like if I use something a little bit smaller, it's not necessarily going to give me the exact look that I'm going for, and it's just going to kind of give that a little bit more dimension to the eye, and it's going to be a little bit more easier to blend if you're not used to using really small brushes. So this is the Morphe, again, the Morphe M412 brush, and all of these are available on morphebrushes.com, and I will link that below. If I'm really focusing on doing a smoky eye, or I want to add a darker, more deeper dimension to my eye look, I will use the Morphe E17 brush. This is what this looks like right here. It's kind of like the Morphe M412 brush that I was just talking about, which is this one, but it's a little bit more smaller. So actually, let me put them right together. So this one right here is the 412, and this one right here is the E17. So this is kind of an idea of what they look like. This one is just a little bit more fluffy, and this one is a lot more tighter. I'm running out of adjectives, to be honest. But so if I'm kind of taking this, I'll zoom in so I can show you guys. If I'm using this brush right here, I'm taking this to put right on the outer corner, and I'll kind of even just like tap a little bit of a darker shade. I'll kind of put it right there, and I'll kind of just like slowly buff it up into there, but I'm not going to take this and use it all around there. It is a really good brush. Again, this is the Morphe E17 brush, and it's really small and it's easy to get that color that you want. If you're looking to add a little bit more depth and dimension to your eye, if you want to go like a smoky eye and you want to do like a little bit at a time, this is the perfect brush to do that because it allows you to really buff it into the skin, and it allows you to add a little bit by a little bit. So little by little and kind of growing to be a little bit more. So one brush that I use when I'm doing my under eye color, I actually use two because this is not the one I used today. But I will use a brush that looks kind of like this. It kind of has like a really pointy little end. You can see how I have like black on there because I usually smoke it out if I'm doing like a liner on my waterline. I use this and I'll kind of just take it and I kind of just like buff it out right down here. And there's really like, there's no method to it. There's no formation structure or anything. I kind of just take it, let me zoom you. I kind of just take it and I'll pull it and just kind of buff out the color. And I normally take whatever color I put on top and I'll bring it down to the bottom. Excuse me. And then that's kind of like how I use this brush. So this one doesn't have a name. I got it off of Amazon. I can see if the packaging is still available on Amazon, and if it is, then I'll link it down below so you guys can see. But it came in a pack of, I think, like 11 different brushes, and it was like $10. And it was like one of the first like brush packs that I ever bought. So I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And now I'm like, oh no. But that's like the only one that I will use from that little set that I bought, just because it really does work for me. And then another one that I can use if I'm doing a smoked out look on the bottom is I use kind of this little teeny tiny one. There is a name for this brush, but I don't remember what it was called. I will link it down below though. And this is kind of just like a really tiny little precision brush, if you will. And it does the same thing. So if I'm taking it, I'm just kind of focusing right on my waterline and going right underneath there. And I'm not going to take it any further because I don't want it to look like I have raccoon eyes. You know what I'm saying? It does the job because it's really tiny, and it really allows you to control what it is that you're doing. And for my eyebrows, I think this is the last one that I have to talk about. Yay! For my eyebrows, I will use just any little thing like this. There is a name for this, and I don't remember what it was called, but any little thing that you can just like kind of brush your hairs out with, I use that. That's what I start with. And then I will go in with the Sephora brush, and this is the Pro Angled Liner number 22. This is the brush that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. This is number 22 from Sephora, and this is, I will be honest, I use this for eyeliner, or I can use it for my eyebrows. And like I said, I'll take it down here, and I just kind of like buff out the color on both sides. And then I can take this and also dip it in a gel liner and use it for my eyeliner. So it kind of like kills two birds with one stone. So it's cool. Okay guys, that is it. That completes my October favorites / brush use video. Brushes, different brushes, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what I'm going to call this, to be honest. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask down below. Also follow me on all my social media accounts. They're all linked down below. And that's it. I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you guys soon. Bye.